See, here's what happens when you break everything down to source. It's just cut, turn, union, and flow. Everything that you do is cut or turn or union or flow, and it's all four happening at the same time, really. And so once you break reality down to its root, you can learn anything. You know all things because everything is that root. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you know. Now, there's stuff like medicine that you need, different programming languages. But even if you take the programming languages and break them down to their root, it's just basic stuff, It's just going to be basic. The same pattern is in all programming languages, just like the same pattern is in all languages. You're going to have a noun, you're going to have a verb, you're going to have a beginning, a period, an end, you're going to have a sentence. It's the same stuff. And so each one of those shops might sell different stuff, but they're still a shop. And they still have a door, and they still have a credit card machine probably, and they still exchange money for stuff, right? The little coffee shop thing there, they exchange money for drinks. She exchanged money for her new age stuff. They all promote the new age stuff for money. I hope you know that. People who do the new age stuff, it's all for money. Like they'll sell somebody a dream catcher with a bunch of feathers. It's for money. They do it for money. It's all money. And it's okay to have money flowing, but most of the stuff that you're being sold is based on lies. It's just for money. It's all lies. As I'm talking, I get notifications. But when you break the words down into their basic parts, you've got cut, which goes back to the cross. You got turn, goes back to verse, turn. Union, Christ is the middleman between God and man. God is bringing man back into union with himself through his Son. Flow is the spirit flow. This traffic flowing represents the blood flow in your body. That's why in a city, the outskirts, why do they call it outskirts? Because the woman wears a skirt. The outskirts of a city. Why is a ship called a ship? Because the hip. Eve is the hip, the side of man, out of the side of man. She's got hips. A woman has hips to birth a baby. What's the birth? What's the birth of a ship? The width of a ship, What's the birthing? The birth, the width. It's all connected. It's all together. Once you see the holographic fractal truth, and you know the base, and you know it's all a sine wave, even the sine wave can be plotted on a Cartesian plane, and it has a line this way and a line that way. So cut, turn, you're trying to solve the problem, the pieces of the pie coming back to oneness or wholeness, union. And so even if you take a Cartesian plane like the steering wheel and cut it into pieces like a pizza, your pieces are going back to oneness or wholeness. And the pieces face off with each other. So let's say there's somebody who's newly saved and they're learning the Bible and they're rightly dividing the word, but they also need other people like good teachers and pastors to teach them till they get strong, because they don't really understand something. So these teachers teach them. Okay, so this is a clock symbol or Cartesian coordinates, but it's also can be the sine wave. It can be plotted as a sine wave, which is a snake. So there's the cross cut, there's the turn. All the pieces inside here are trying to get to wholeness. This piece, this piece, this piece, this piece. And so each piece, and break it into more pieces, they're working together to bring a unity or a wholeness or a oneness, right? And then once you enter into that oneness, everything flows. You take your key and you you cut or pierce, and then you turn it, and then the union with the electronics kicks in, creates an engine start, it turns. So cut, turn the key, union, everything's in union, everything's flowing. Because right now it's off. You have to cut, you turn this a certain distance and there's a connection, there's a union. And that union's got to be on. It's got to be on, right? If I cut it off, the motor cuts off. Cut, turn, union, flow. Then when the connection's in union and the motor's turning, you can flow. Food. So you eat some food. You chew it, which is cutting it. It goes in your stomach. It turns. The nutrients, the nutrients become in union with you through the blood vessels, through the acid, break it into parts, whatever. So the acid breaks it into parts, becomes a part of you, gives you the power to walk and flow. It's important to seek the truth with everything that's in you.